So the thing with vital centers, we've taught this class before, but we're doing a 2.0 version. And, vital centers is what is taught in Astara and some of the inner teachings for both accelerated healing, especially for like very chronic health issues, the prevention of very chronic health issues, but also, you could put in psychological healing with that, but the ability to go inward and access the inner world. This is where you would access and align with more of your truer self, your truer nature. And so the thing with the vital centers with the 2.0 version is it will be used to help. When we shift an auric program, it physicalizes in the body kind of relatively quickly. But if the vital centers, which is tied to harmonics, and harmonics is how we establish patterns in the body and in the environment. And if we align the harmonics or we fine tune this aspect of the vital centers and how it impacts harmonics, then that means as we set better patterns with the auric programming, it gets integrated into the aura and into the body at a much quicker rate. The auric programming, depending on what it is, sometimes it works very fast, but if there's a chronic health issue, it takes a little bit. You have to keep doing it over and over again. And so it helps with the refinement of the energy body. It helps with your spiritual development. It helps with the integration of the auric and somatic programming as it integrates into the vibrational aspects of your body, which is reflected in regeneration, degeneration. And one thing that the vital centers really, I think, stands out is those aspects of metabolic instability. We have degeneration in our body to some level or some degree, but we'll hit times where all of a sudden that degeneration just starts to accelerate quite intensely and our body just starts kind of falling apart, or you just like, no matter what I do, I'm just not feeling better. So, we always look at regeneration and how much we are degenerating, but at some point the degeneration reaches a tipping point where it starts to cause metabolic instability, where just your body starts going a little haywire, right? So the harmonics, when you treat harmonics in the body, or when you're treating the vital centers, which is like the physical representation of these harmonics, it's a way to slow down that metabolic instability and then potentially reverse it. And so this is why it's so good in chronic health issues. This is why it's so good in spiritual practices. This is why it's so good in dealing with patterns in our lives and psychological healing. All these pieces are addressing different aspects of the self. As much as we think of ourselves as being very simple and very straightforward, the body is very nuanced, and there's lots of things to address. When we think about it from a symptom-oriented point of view, it's just this hurts, this isn't working. But if you go behind all of that, there's a complexity there. There's rhythms in the body. There's different body systems. There's degeneration. There's regeneration. There's the metabolic activity. There's the issues going on in the spine. There's so many things that contribute, including our homeostatic emotions and things like this. And so this is another aspect of the things that we've been talking about. We taught it a while back, but we're coming back around with 2.0 and pulling all these things together. So if you haven't had the class, it would be a good one. But if you've had the class, even though you've had it once, I would suggest that you come back through and do the second version. The idea of vital centers, it's a big component of how we experience and harness divine light, divine intelligence. And the work with the brainwaves is how we experience and harness divine love and produce stability in our lives. The divine light is the creative process, and the divine love is how we produce stability. It's tied to providence. And so when we did the vital centers, I included the brain waves just so we can work light and love to produce a very quick healing effect for physical, psychological, and even spiritual issues. So hope you can join us.